Welcome to another edition of Papa Marucci Cooks for family and friends. Thanksgiving, the great American holiday. Family, friends, feasting, football. That's just great. What can be wrong with that? So today, we're going to kick it up even to a whole nother level, and we're going to brine our turkey, and we're going to get it on the grill. So we're going to have brined turkey roasted on the grill for the holiday. It'll be one of the best birds you've ever had, I can promise you. Brine, if you haven't used one before and you're not familiar with it, is basically just a combination of sugar and salt. And you can get creative with those ingredients. Here's an example of this, just a store-bought at our local spice shop here in Fort Collins. It's a turkey pre-made, and you just mix it all with the water. You could go that route. We are not going to. We're going to go with a recipe pretty much that a buddy of mine, Bob, let me in on 30 years ago, and I've been doing some variation of it ever since. It's based on John Ash, Chef John Ash from Sonoma, California. So what we're going to do is we're going to get water going here in the pot, and I'm going to add the sweet or the sugary ingredients. So we're going to start with maple syrup. Real maple syrup, not that stuff that you ate as a kid on your pancakes. And brown sugar, so probably about a cup each. Once again, the important part is to get the measurements appropriate for the salt and the sugar. You could probably go a little bit more salt, and that's what we're gonna do here. I have low sodium soy sauce just because I don't have the heavy salty stuff. So I'm gonna do about a cup and a half of that. And I'm going to do about 3/4 cup of salt. Normally, if I had regular soy sauce, I probably would have only done a half a cup of salt. All right, so those are the main ingredients. We're going to add a few aromatics. We have a head of garlic that I've just chopped in half. I have an onion that I just quartered. Some ginger I just coarsely cut up into chunks. Some bay leaves. Much to my wife's chagrin, I'm going to throw a little couple chili peppers in there just to give it a little bit more depth. Some sage, and I am going to throw this on over the heat, stir it to get the salt and sugar dissolved, let it get to room temperature, and then we'll be ready to add the turkey. All right, so we're just going to stir this around a little bit. There's probably, I don't know, 2-3 quarts of water in here. That's not really the important part because we're going to add ice water later when we cool this whole mixture down. But right now we're just getting that dissolved. It looks like it's pretty much there. So now I'm going to let it cool. All right, so we have the brine that we've taken off once it's cooled. Once again, you don't have to boil it or anything like that. Just get it warm enough to dissolve the brown sugar and the salt. I'm going to use a food safe container. I realize many of you don't have something like this. You can buy a brining bag at the grocery store. You can use a cooler that is clean. You can use a big pot, anything that would be able to hold the turkey submerged in all the liquid. It's important that the liquid's covering the whole turkey. So whatever you may have, don't go out and grab something in the garage that you were gardening with, though. So I don't care how clean you think it is. I'm going to pour then the brine first because I don't want to pour it in and have it splattering once the turkey's in there and make kind of a mess there. I'm going to add some ice to even get it cooler. And this is why the water amount wasn't all that important because we're going to be adding more water later. Here I have this is just a store-bought frozen 14-pound turkey. Now, you know, some people may want to go and get a fresh turkey. My favorite turkey, and I have one reserved this year for Thanksgiving actually in Glenview, Illinois, is at Harrison's Poultry. Fabulous turkey if you have a chance to reserve one of those. If you don't have an option of doing that or are just going to buy the frozen turkey, that's perfectly fine. Give it 6 or 7 days to thaw though. If it's not thawing as fast as you'd like, just put it in some cold water, still wrapped, and it'll move a little faster for you. Make sure you remove the giblets, the neck, reserve that for stock later. And here we go. We're just going to plunge this in there. Now, once again, we're going to want this to be covered, fully covered with water. So I'll do that here while we're talking. We're also going to check on it twice a day. All right, so this is a 14 pounder, not super big. So what we're probably going to do is let it brine for 2 days. If you're doing a big 20 pounder, 26 pounder, it could go up to 4 days. So anywhere between 2 or 4 days is perfectly fine for the brine. Okay, so again, I can't stress the importance of having a clean container and keeping this cold for the 2 or 4 days. Just place a bowl or a plate or something to kind of keep that guy submerged. That's important. And again, we're going to want to check on it a couple times a day, and we will revisit this. And oh, another thing, make sure it's cold all the time. So don't just stick it in the garage and forget about it. Just always make sure there's ice. You're turning it. It's very important to keep this guy cold. We'll see how he looks in a couple days. Okay, it's starting to smell like Thanksgiving in here. It's starting to feel like Thanksgiving. We got the football game on. We got things cooking on the stove. Everything sounds great. I've removed the turkey after 2 days of brining. I've discarded the brine. And right now, I'm just going to hit it with some olive oil. Hit it all around the sides. I also cut the wing tips off the wings just so they're not, in the way. And not only that, we are putting them in our pot for turkey stock. That'll be used for stuffing and gravy and whatnot. I'm going to generously salt the outside skin to give it that nice crispy, tasty layer that you're going to have to fight people off when you're carving. And we will now be taking it out to the grill. Okay, so as you can see, I have a big green egg. I've had this for quite some time. It's very well seasoned. What I'm going to do is I have my charcoal going. I'm going to put half on one side, half on the other. You can do the same if you have a kettle, big Weber kettle. A new big green egg would work just as well as the seasoned one. And just, the goal is here to indirect cooking. So we're not going to want to put the turkey right over the grill. So I'm just pushing this off to the side and get the turkey on there. So we have the turkey now at 300 degrees. It takes about 15 minutes at that temperature per pound. So we're looking at about a 13 pounder, maybe 12 and a half, 13 pounder. So we're looking at about 4 hours. You can go as big a turkey as can fit in your grill, whichever one you're choosing to do. I would try to not open it very often once you get the grill closed. Monitor the temperature. If it starts dipping, you might have to add a few more coals. This also would be the time if you wanted to add some of those wood chips, if you wanted more of a smoky flavoring. The charcoal is pretty smoky for our turkey, so we're not going to bother adding any. At the same time, for some reason, when you're cooking outside on a grill, slow cooking, having a cigar and a can of beer always seems like the appropriate thing to do. It just makes it taste better. I don't know why. I can't explain it. It just does. I'm going with a Coors Light because it's a long day. All right, so I'm going to start with some more, a little bit more hydration. Turkey, using one of these InstaRead thermometers, 160 degrees. We've taken off the grill. It'll sit here for about a half hour. I'm going to tent it, and it'll rise in temperature a little bit as we go. You're letting the juices kind of all run back through the turkey. A bigger bird, stay around 20, 25 pounds. You can let it sit 45 minutes or so. We're going to try to let this one sit a half hour. Our guests are showing up soon. We'll have some snacks and libations and finish up our side dishes, and we'll be carving soon. So while we're waiting for our friends to show up and to carve the turkey, I thought I'd share some of the wines we're going to have. Last fall, we went out to Sonoma and we met through our friends Jim and Kathy, Jeff Bunchu from Gunlock Bunchu Wineries, and he gave us a fabulous tour of the facilities and showed us a little bit about wine, and we tasted a couple wines, of which both are here for our Thanksgiving. This is the dry Gewürz Traminer. Hard to say, easy to like. It goes great with turkey. It's got one of our favorites that we always have on hand for that. We're also going to serve a red, the Pinot Noir, also from Gunlock Bundschuh. It just goes well with everything. I haven't run into anything it doesn't go well with, so it'll be great to go with the turkey dinner as well. Okay, so now the guests are here and we're ready to carve the turkey. One thing I should have pointed out is that when I recommended drinking some cans of beer while you're cooking, don't drink too many of them because you still have to carve the turkey and that could be dangerous. Anyway, what you want to do first is we're going to remove the dark meat, leg, thigh portion. Just kind of get in there, wiggle it loose. Hopefully you can see here. I'll try to move it around a little bit. Probably can't see there, can you? But we're gonna just take that piece right off. And what we want to do is not cut through the bone that I am right here, but what you want to do is you want to loosen up the leg. Super easy to cut through. Set that there. We're going to take the thigh bone off. Super easy to do. Now what you want to do is, half your crowd's going to be dark meat, half's going to be white meat fans. You like to cut the meat off the thigh bone on each side. It's not that hard to do, and it's pretty quick. And we'll just set it here with the skin side. I know a lot of people like the skin, so we'll do that. Next one is we want to take this wing off. Just rip that off. You cut right through. It's easy to do. We're gonna now, instead of that slice that you saw before, where you get the thin slices off the breast, follow the breastbone here and just slide your knife down through here. So you're gonna wanna remove the whole breast, just like that. It comes off really easy. Maybe I'll flip it around a little so you can see it a little better. And you want to put, with your hand, just kind of pull it away from the bone as you're slicing. And this way, you can have this whole piece here. Everybody gets a little bit of skin as you slice on the diagonal. And set it right there. Repeat with the other side, and there you go. We had a really nice time last night with our friends at our pre-Thanksgiving celebration. I would encourage you to give the brined and grill roasted turkey a shot this year. It'll change the way you have Thanksgiving for the rest of your life, I promise you. The recipe is at papamaruccicooks.com. There you can sign up for future videos, look at past recipes, and Perry and I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. Buon appetito.